Hi there, I'm David Downs. I'm going to be one of the speakers at Nurture Change in Hawaii later this year, and actually I've just got back from 3 months in the depths of winter, so I'm trying to enjoy a little bit of this and also detox from 24/7 Trump TV over there. It's ridiculous. We used to call it Trump-o-vision. So pleased to be back. Anyway, you had a few questions for me. I thought I'd answer them. First of all, can I update you on my cancer treatment? Well, yeah, I was in America doing an experimental treatment for lymphoma, which is a blood cancer I have. It was amazing. Basically, it's a genetic modification, science fiction, innovation, everything I love. Basically, genetically re-engineering my own immune system to fight cancer. And as of 3 days ago, it was completely successful. So it's been an incredible journey of about a year and a half, and I'll tell you more at the conference. Can I explain to you what I've been doing in my role of General Manager at New Zealand Trade and Enterprise? Well, not much for about a year and a half because I've had cancer, but before then, New Zealand Trade and Enterprise is basically about growing businesses bigger, better, faster for the benefit of New Zealand, and we do that by helping New Zealand companies go international and helping investment come into New Zealand. My role there for the last sort of few years has been kind of a operations role, General Manager of the operations part of the NZTE, and I'm now moving into a new role where I'm going to be helping technology companies and working on our strategy around helping the technology sector, now the second biggest sector in New Zealand. Very exciting stuff. Which comes out of my book, which you just mentioned here, out of my number 8 Rewired book. What's my favourite Kiwi business invention and why? I've got too many to name one, so I'm going to give you my kind of top of mind one, which is this. I was in America, as I mentioned, for 3 months. Everyone is wearing Allbirds. Allbirds shoes. If you don't know what they are, you're not cool. Allbirds, they're woolen shoes. They're the perfect New Zealand invention. They're made of merino. They were created here in New Zealand. They're now manufactured offshore, but with merino wool. They've got American money helping to fuel that business, and everyone in Silicon Valley, everyone on the East Coast is wearing them. They're a phenomenon, and I think it's a great example of Kiwi innovation. Next question, how has being a comedian helped you succeed in business? Well, frankly, often it's been a bit of a hindrance, not a help, but I actually think I've got a bit of an attitude here. I think that being solemn is very different than being serious. I'm very serious about growing businesses, I'm very serious about innovation, but I'm not solemn about it at all. I don't think you have to kind of walk around moping and appearing like someone's just died to look serious about something. I think you can have fun and grow businesses, and you can have fun and talk about innovation, and we're going to do that in Hawaii. Someone found out here, you've just done a lecture at MIT, the most famous university, one of the most famous universities in the world. What did you share with them? Was pretty cool. On my bucket list, I decided years ago that I wanted to be a business school professor, but I've basically got no qualifications. So anyway, I was in Boston doing my cancer treatment, and they found out I was there and that I'd written some books about innovation. And so they asked me to come along and do a guest lecture because they're doing a study about New Zealand. So I basically talked about the New Zealand innovation ecosystem, the different players, the government, the entrepreneurs, the VCs, the universities, the venture capital, I mentioned that already, and how they all kind of play a part together. And it was a good reflection, actually, sitting in a sort of a lecture hall in Boston with the MIT students talking about New Zealand in a very kind of academic sense. It made us realise that we're doing quite well, but we could do a lot better as a country. It's such a small country, we could work so much better together. More on that later. In my journey through America, what businesses were you impressed with and why? I'm going to answer the opposite of that question. I went to a talk. While I was in Boston, I decided to go as much as I could to go to Harvard and MIT and kind of interesting lectures and stuff like that while I was in and out of hospital. And I went to one company. It's an amazing company. They're a artificial intelligence, big data type company, and they had about 30 PhDs in data and data analytics, and they were working on this incredible analytical problems. They did this big lecture about how they're using Bayesian analysis and all sorts of advanced techniques to essentially predict whether or not you would buy a TV or a sound bar, or whether you'd go into Starbucks and buy a latte if they gave you a 10% discount. And on one hand, I was incredibly impressed because the science and the mathematics and the big data and the advanced intelligence behind it is incredible. On the other hand, I was really dismayed that they're using this incredible expertise to focus on the most mundane and sort of commercial things. So I actually came away feeling that one of the things about New Zealand that makes us amazing is we have advanced people, we have entrepreneurs, we do some really incredible stuff, and we typically do it with a purpose, with something that's really good, that has a higher meaning. And that's something I think that's really interesting about New Zealand. What is it that makes going global such a huge feat for Kiwi companies? Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a massive amount of sea behind us. That's one of the, the real factors, is that we are and have for most of our history been a long, long way from anywhere. The great news now is that those barriers have kind of come down. We've got the opportunity to travel, we've got the opportunity to remotely connect with people that like never before, and our technology industry has in particular has got the ability to kind of ship products and services around the world, instantly. So the traditional barriers are no longer there. Some of the cultural barriers though are still there, and that's what we're going to talk about at Nurture Change. What are the kind of the common mistakes that New Zealand businesses make? The number one common mistake is thinking that everybody's like us. They're not. Okay, what is it about Kiwi innovation that does so well? Well, been thinking about this a lot lately. Kiwi innovation is interesting for me. I think it's a combination of factors. One is we're really good at challenging authority. We don't take no for an answer. Necessity is born, it creates innovation, and basically we have lots of necessity. We have for most of our lives. We've lived a long way away. And also we don't mind sort of thinking differently, thinking outside the box. And when you add those sort of three things together, necessity, thinking differently, challenging authority, you get kind of that number 8 wire thing. I've talked a lot about number 8 wire. There's some good things about it, there's some bad things about it. On the whole though, the resilience, the kind of familiarity of Kiwis, the kind of upstartness that we have about us, those are the things that make us successful, I think. What's my career highlight? My career highlight? I don't know, I've enjoyed my career immensely. My highlight lately is last Thursday, where the doctor sat me down and said, after 3 months of cancer treatment, after 12 months of chemotherapy before that, you are now in complete remission. So that's my highlight. And what am I looking forward to the most at Nurture Change? I'm looking forward to wandering around in a shirt like this and keeping warm. I'm looking forward to talking to other like-minded people and learning from them, sharing some stories, kind of focusing a little bit on sort of mind, body, spirit, getting kind of intellectual stimulation, physical exercise, a whole lot of things come together in one place. It sounds like it's a magic place. I've never been, but I'm really looking forward to it. So aloha, kia kaha, see you there.